Monday morning and chill, and we're here with Jona of AtomicHub, who you'll probably know. Wrote the what is the standard now for wax and NFTs and trading in a big way, along with his team. And it's been a long time coming, but we're really stoked to have you back, and especially for Monday and chill. So welcome back to the show, Jona.
Yeah, hi Jamie. It's really been too long, but I'm very happy to be back here.
I mean, long enough that I missed you, but not long enough that you've gotten a new chair. So, I mean, just to put things into perspective.
Yeah, that chair will stay with me for the rest of my professional career, perhaps.
How have you been? What have you been up to? I mean, I know you guys have been busy. Corey's running a little bit late, but he'll be joining us here soon. But yeah, just give us a quick crash course. I think that it's funny because you're one of the people that I probably quote more on this channel than anyone. And I quote, like, the first time that we met you way back in the ESIO weekly update days, when we were kind of toying around or playing with the idea of the uplift world before we had minted any NFTs, before we even had sectors. And we were talking to you about like being a Minecraft builder, and you had mentioned like, yeah, the saddest thing was I built all these awesome things and then like nobody ever saw them. And now we're in this world where you're building, like you built this awesome thing that everybody uses every day, but I don't know what you guys are doing on the background. Like you're building things that people aren't seeing. So give us a quick update. What's going on with AtomicHub? What are you guys working on? And yeah, like anything else that you want to say,
Yeah, sure. I mean, honestly, for me, probably the most exciting thing also for the company, I feel like, is just that we're hiring people. I think the last time we spoke, it was just Fabian and me doing everything somehow, and now we have like 3 front-end devs. We have 1 DevOps engineer. We're getting a UX UI designer. We're getting someone for business development. We already have someone helping with operations, and like that's by far the biggest change. And we're starting to like see that work out now. Obviously, it always takes a while to train new guys, but now we're really seeing we can just get stuff done way quicker, and we can get more stuff done. So I feel like for me personally, that's by far the most exciting thing. And then what this translates into is on AtomicHub, you've been seeing a lot of smaller changes, but I think like they add up. Like just small filtering changes, or the graph looks a bit different, or we add like a small feature here, small feature there. And then the next bigger features are, and I'll probably say this for the rest of my life, the NFT creator rework. Which I think I've said that this is the next feature coming in every single interview that I've ever done about the AtomicHub, and there have been a few, but I feel like it's close. Then notification system as well. That's pretty important, and that's something that a lot of people are waiting for. The new notification system, buy offers as well.
I feel bad because I like it's supposed to be Monday morning and chill, and I kind of feel like I stressed out because before the stream we were talking about it, and you're like, Jimmy, it's been so long. Like I told you once the NFT creator is done, I would come back on the show, and it's still not done, but I'm here anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't think like it's not an easy thing. But yeah, I mean, you guys have been doing a lot behind the scenes. Like, I know people who are, I'm not complaining. This is actually a backhanded compliment. But like, I know people who are struggling to like, get NFTs launched. This is how busy you guys are, right? Like, I mean, we're in wax, and wax hasn't even taken off yet. So, like, I'm glad to see that you guys are hiring people. I'm glad to see that, you're trying to increase, your place in the ecosystem. I do actually have one question, because I think you guys have done a really good job on a lot of things, right? Like, verification wise, I think that was good for the ecosystem, right? Like sometimes I get confused, but there has been this thing that I do want to ask you about before we get into Max Chill, and it's been popping up in our Telegram channel recently, and I want to know like what people can do to protect themselves, because I think this is really important. And so obviously somebody's figured out a way to include in the link instead of IO something else with these links.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe talk about that a little bit? Because I think it's really important that people understand, rather than just clicking a claim link, that it could sometimes be dangerous. And it wasn't that way before. This is kind of a new kind of thing that's popping about. And I'd like to get your take on it.
Yeah, so there's multiple things. Like, firstly, of course, we can ask users to be careful, but like you can only ever be so careful. And like what you're talking about, just a domain that looks very similar, I mean, that's hard to spot. I fully understand that. So I think the best line of defense is where we've already talked to the Wax team, and they want to add like some sort of blacklist for the cloud wallet, so that they could just blacklist these sites where then users just couldn't sign anything from there. And perhaps also a system where, like, if you use a new site for the first time, it makes you confirm it. And then, like, obviously, if you're using normal AtomicHub, you don't get that message every time. You only get it once. If you then go on a new site and this new message pops up, then maybe you start thinking about it. Second thing is, like, we've already started a process, or we filed a complaint with their domain registration service that they're using for that, so that they can also take it down. And then if we are able to get personal information of whoever did this, we'd also very much be looking at suing them, not necessarily because we get a lot of money from that, but just because we want to make sure that, like, bad actors in the space should be scared about getting sued, because what they're doing is illegal, and like someone needs to sue them. And so if that's a possibility, then we'll also look at that.
Yeah, it's like on our end, we basically had to shut down all incoming links from the Telegram channel in multiple ways, just because we were getting slammed with this. And shout out to a few of our community members who are pointing this out. Like, my personal thing is, when I'm on Telegram, I'm usually on my phone. So when I check these links, it actually opens in a browser that I never use to like sign any transactions. I use a different browser. So like there's no, it's kind of hard because it doesn't log me in automatically. Yeah. So like I would suggest that, like, I would suggest don't click on any of these links when you're tired. And if you are going to click on these links, like in any channels, like do it with something that you're not signed in with. Right. And so like you can actually see what's there and double check. So just one more time, they changed the AtomicHub.io to .ln or something like that.
I think to .in or something. I mean, basically what they're doing is just they're buying a domain that looks very similar to AtomicHub.io, but it's different. And then they can put their own phishing content on there. And or like in this case, it isn't necessarily phishing, but it's sort of a similar concept, just that they're just stealing the tokens directly instead of stealing login credentials.
I mean, there was a situation where there was and the problem with this is, like, they can just keep creating new ones and new ones and new ones over and over and over again. So it's really hard to keep ahead of them. So is there a place where people can report this, that it doesn't get overwhelmed? Because I think this is really important to keep the community safe.
I mean, like, if anyone reports this to us, we're obviously taking action as soon as we get notified of it. I think once the Rex team implements their solution, and from what I understood from them, they're taking it very seriously, so I assume it shouldn't take them very long to build something like this. I think this will be like 90% of the work already done, because then it will just be a lot more obvious to users that something fishy is going on. Obviously not everyone is using the cloud wallet, but I feel like those that are using the cloud wallet are especially susceptible because they're perhaps not as much into the ecosystem. And someone who is already using Anchor, I mean, they've probably went through some shady stuff in the past. They've probably had experiences like this, and they're probably a bit more careful anyways. This doesn't solve all of it, but I think, like, if the cloud wallet has some good checks there, that solves a lot of it already.
Yeah, I mean, and like, before we leave this really shitty topic, it's especially of concern with me and with us, because like we do have a lot of people who come into our ecosystem who aren't necessarily crypto people, right?
Yeah.
Like they're a lot of Corey's friends, a lot of my friends, like they've been introduced into this ecosystem. They might not know that much about like all these scams, right? And like I got an email today. It's weird. I got an email today from an account that I never use, like an email account that I never use that's connected to another wallet, basically saying like sign in, which is crazy. And I like reported this. This isn't in Wax. This isn't in EOSIO even. It's in Ethereum. But like I reported them, and they thanked me. So just like it's really important, and thank you to all you people who are out there who are keeping our channels safe as well. So now that we're through the shitty part of the show, Corey, you're here, so let's do some chill.
Unmute. I like to chill. I don't. What? I mean, we can do some gratitudes. I'm actually. I just got over there now.
Nice.
I'm just excited to chat with you, man. Like, I don't know. It's been a bit of a busy year, Jonah. I feel like I haven't seen you in like 18 million years.
It hasn't even been a year, which is crazy.
Right? Yeah. It's only been a couple months, but it feels like half of my life. Which is been absolutely nuts. So yeah, I can't wait to get an update. But until then, tell me one thing you're grateful for.
I think that's probably a bit weird. I'm grateful for the recruiters that we worked with that helped us find really awesome people really quickly. Without them, we would have been kind of screwed.
The recruiters that recruited for us.
Yeah. No, they really did. Like I know, like when we started looking for people in like February, March, and we were just so lost and we didn't find anyone, and then we luckily found like really good recruiters that really understood what we needed, and I think they have really helped us get to this point where we now have a small team and we're still growing it, and like that's also just the stress that is on me. It has significantly reduced that, just because when Fabian and I had to do everything, that's obviously a lot of responsibility. And if like you have some people there that also help you tackle things, that's just nice to have that in the back of your head, sort of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're moving up in the world when you can hire people so that if they fuck up, you can fire them and still look good.
That's not why, but yes. Jimmy, what are you grateful for this morning?
I'm grateful for the atomic standard, actually. That's pretty big. I think it was an ecosystem changer, and you guys were awesome. And you created that, and people are still talking about it. People are still utilizing it. People are still building on top of it, creating awesome things. So, whatever happens, you'll always have that. And I think you guys changed the ecosystem forever, I think.
Can confirm.
Yeah, let's see about forever, but at least for now, we made some changes.
Corey, what do you got?
Shit, man. I'm grateful that Jonah's here this morning.
Nice. Martin's got a good one in the comments too. He's grateful for the nasty hooks. I do a show with the nasty hooks every week. We're gonna put that off tomorrow because I'm changing locations, which is funny because they always bust my balls about not sharing why I'm changing locations. But yeah, that's good.
All right.
I mean, that's awesome. Like, so I was just trying to think, like, I want somebody to write an app or like a tracking app that I can use that will not like relay my information to anyone else. But I wonder like what % of every day I spend scouring AtomicHub for great deals. Like I spent like a half an hour like looking for like undervalued like miner and land prices, and I was just like, it's like, oh, that's good. It's like, yeah. I mean, I want one of those little apps that like, that shows your screen time. It breaks it down into like email or whatever, like how much I spend like looking at NFTs. So it's good. I like it. I mean, sometimes I can't find my NFTs, then I have to, remember how to do that. What is that in the background? What's up there in the clouds?
Our dragon has our neighbor built a dragon over here.
I don't know if I've ever seen it at night before.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's funny. I'm finding myself wanting to walk everywhere. I don't know, Jonah. We haven't talked in so long. So we just active rewards finally went live, like what feels again like 18 trillion years later was really only 2 months. And so what we decided to track, we can actually track everything, but what we decided to track for the actual rewards is basically walking, sprinting, and railcar travel, right? So like you don't get any active rewards for flying around, and then of course it's Genesis, and so you can actually fly around. But now I'm just like, I kind of want to walk everywhere because every 20 blocks I get a stupid point.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm basically just like poning myself. That's really what's going on.
And I'm really excited about the seasons because we're going to change this in 6 weeks, or we might not. I mean, but we might. We're going to adapt and
assume. I'm gonna be super clear about this. Absolutely assume we're going to change it. We might change fucking everything. Probably not, but like people are not. They're like every time we change anything, they're like, "Oh my god, this is yeah." We're changing everything all the time. Get used to it right now. And some of them still won't, but we're gonna do what we're gonna do. Anyway, so like last 2 months, you got some recruiters, Jona. Like what? How's it going? Like where? Like everyone is still using AtomicHub. It's still the biggest thing in town. Like what's going on? Give us an update.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually the thing. Like perhaps in the wax space, we might be the biggest thing in town. But if you look at the whole NFT ecosystem, which is also growing a ton. Right. Like in terms of users, we're still pretty much up there, but in terms of volume, if you look at some of the Ethereum stuff, that's pretty crazy what's going on there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm absolutely biased to.
But honestly, that's like pretty awesome thing because it just shows us how much higher the ceiling is. Like we're not nearly there yet.
This is entirely true. Go for a little minecart ride.
Yeah, so I'm curious, like, by hiring these people that are going to help you out, are you able to like free up some time so that you can get in here and build some awesome shit for us? Like we need like a AtomicHub's like top, release exhibition or something. I want to see these skills that you told us about that nobody ever saw. We know how to build a freaking marketplace. We're just not sure about how about the whole Minecraft thing.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, but also not too good. I remember when I played Minecraft with my friends, like back in school. Like I always built like these small houses, and they were decent. But then there were a few guys. Like they just built insane stuff, and it just looked so detailed, so much nicer than anything that I could build. So I'm probably somewhere in the middle, but I'm afraid I'm still not in a position where I have a lot of time to spend.
Right.
I mean, I like playing in our survival worlds, just because that's what I'm kind of into now, and like my inefficiency of like building, like that Greg Uplift Greg has been harping on me like since I met him, is actually going to come in really handy now that we have rewards on, because I always forget to lay down a bed and then I have to walk like back to where I was. Like the perfect thing. It's like, oh, you died and now you have to walk and you get paid for it. I mean, it's great. My inefficiency is actually going to pay me, so that's awesome. But yeah, like
shout out to Lisa Chandler who's in the comments. Haven't seen. We need to get you back on, Lisa. I feel like we haven't talked in 18 million years as well.
Yeah, I was just talking to her today. It kind of seems like everyone's coming back, so that's good. We'll have to do like some fun stuff, but yeah.
Indeed.
So I want to know. Well, maybe two things. You mentioned the NFT creator. And you mentioned that it's going to be the bane of your existence. So first of all, what is the NFT creator? And like, are you guys like, are you anywhere close to releasing it? Like, I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, and so
sometimes
I mean,
when you have problems, it's good to talk about them, get them off your chest. Consider us like your therapists about,
Yeah, I mean. Okay, first of all, what is the NFT creator? The NFT creator is our tool that allows users to like set up their own collections, set up their own schemas, which is this technical thing, but in the end, set up their own NFTs. And it's not very good in the way that it is now. And like that's why it's the bane of my existence, because we've wanted to rework it for like essentially since we launched 14 months ago.
We talked because we were gonna do like a big thing on how to make NFTs. You're like, yeah. Wait, or like, oh yeah,
just wait a month,
or 7. And honestly, like, I say this with so much love because I mean, with the biggest question that anyone asks anyone in our space is like, when this, when that, when this, like, when we're fucking done, god damn it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not that we've been working on this nonstop for the last 14 months. It's more like whenever we're just about to like finish the thing before and we're like, okay, now we can get the NFT creator done, that's when the new thing pops up and we need to do the new thing first.
Right.
But actually, like with the devs we have now on our team, we've made some progress there. Like I know in internal versions it's already reworked pretty heavily, but it's just not done yet. And there will actually be most likely 2 reworks, like one rework, hopefully in the next month or so. Who knows? Like, now that I've said it, I've jinxed it again. It's going to take at least 6 more.
Yeah, exactly. I believe.
Yeah, but once that's done, like then in November we actually have UX UI designer join us, and I think that's when we'll rework it sort of a second time. Where like first thing is now we get it to a better technical point, where like from a technical point of view it's good. And then second rework is when we also get the user experience really good. Like I hope the first rework will already improve the user experience just because it's like more coherent, more sort of logical in a way. But then with the next rework, like where we can then really like look at UX of it, I think that's when we will get it to a really good state where we can be sort of proud of it and think like, okay, now we've done it. Now we don't need to rework it, at least for the foreseeable future anymore.
So yeah, shout out to my dad who's never watched this show. He's going in for like a really minor, like routine kind of like procedure today, medicinally. But here's the thing: when he's finished, I want to get him into Minecraft, right? I want to get him to put some blocks together. He's a builder in real life. He went through this Tetris phase. And when your thing is finished, what you're telling me is my dad, who has absolutely zero sense when it comes to computers that normal people use, which is weird because like part of his old job was like programming computers that run these massive machines that would kill you. He's horrible with real computers for some reason. Anything with a keyboard, he needs like a touch panel with a little pen that like looks like it was created in the 1960s. Anyway, beside that, he'll be able to actually come onto AtomicHub and create like NFTs of these like blocks that he's laid in the Uplift in a really simple, easy way and sell them and make money. Is that what you're telling me? Like this could I heard like 1 week, so it should be coming in about 6 weeks. I think that's how I heard that correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, about that. I think like the first rework will be sort of like, okay, now the people that already understand it will be a lot happier. And then the second rework will be like, okay, now the people that didn't understand it so far will be able to understand it easily, because then it will be like, I mean, and if I would know how it would look like exactly, then I could just build it now. Then we wouldn't need 2 reworks. So I don't know exactly how it will be like, but it will be like the goal is for it to be like a more guided experience. Where right now you're just sort of thrown into it and just like, hey, create your schema, go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like the goal is to have it like more guided, perhaps even so that you don't need to create your schema, but it's just like something. If you just want to do normal stuff, like, okay, we create one for you, like, don't worry about it. And then if you want to do the advanced stuff, of course, we will still give you all the options. But that's sort of the goal of that, where then, like, we can then just hopefully, like, take some artist or someone who's never dealt with blockchain before, and we just tell him, okay, like, this is the link you go on, you register for your cloud wallet, which is really easy, and then you just follow the steps, and here's your NFT. Like, that's the goal, where they don't have to come back and ask us, and where they also don't have to read a tutorial for an hour, but it's just like, step 1, step 2, step 3, here you go. Like, that's the goal.
That's going to be awesome. And I want to touch on Lisa's point. AtomicHub and Atomic Assets has improved the lives of thousands of people. One of the best sites ever made. I mean, that is objectively true. I mean, like the amount of people that have been affected by what you guys built. And yeah, like, is it OpenSea? No, right? But like at the same time, like we're way earlier than OpenSea, right? Like is that how you see this thing going? Like obviously it's a different ecosystem, but do you think it's kind of gonna go in the same direction? Just maybe take a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think it's going to. I mean, my vision is that it's a bit different in that like OpenSea has a lot of like very high value NFTs, which are cool but are unobtainable for the vast majority of users.
Right.
So they're nice to earn a lot of make a lot of revenue, like that's for sure. And like they're also nice for artists who all of a sudden, like just this day I saw Anders tweet about or retweet someone who like sold his NFT for 27 Ethereum or something and paid off his student loans. Like that's awesome, right?
It's incredible. Yep.
I don't want to bash on that at all, but I think that's not really the future that I see for NFTs, or at least that's not the whole future. I think like the whole future will be a lot of gaming stuff and a lot of collectible stuff, and that's where we're sort of really strong. And without wanting to bash any of the other marketplaces, but like just this weekend, I actually used OpenSea again for the first time in like 2 years to like I wanted to list something, and it's like from start to finish, that's like $100 in fees gone. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, how does that work? I'm just amazed by it. But I mean, like, I guess if you're selling an NFT for $50,000, then
right,
okay.
Like, I wonder sometimes if the fact that the fees are so high. Look at this freaking Yoshi coin. What is this? Sorry, I've never seen that before. That's a dramatic reduction in velocity, right? Oh, it's random little dragon. And, I wonder sometimes if that doesn't have a profound effect on the actual value of the NFTs, just for the simple fact that people make the rational choice not to sell. Right?
Yeah.
Like not to do anything, basically, unless it's, if you need to make more than $100 to do it, because, you're going to have that ridiculous fee on top of it.
Yeah, although to be fair, I think a large part of that fee was to set up the account somehow, which only happens once. So I think like if you actually buy something at the moment, it's not quite as bad, but it's still like at least like, I don't know, $10, maybe even more, which still is insanely high if you think about what it really is.
I mean, especially like we're so used to, and I mean, to your point, right? Like you guys are building the thing so that when every game has NFTs that are for different pieces of armor and swords and freaking cars and everything else, people are going to be able to start from scratch with almost no money and get into these things without being, burdened by transaction fees that would slow it down, right? And so, you have thousands, maybe on the outside, tens of thousands of transactions on OpenSea are going to translate to millions of transactions on AtomicHub.
Yeah, and I mean that's not OpenSea's fault necessarily. That's just like the tech of Wax versus Ethereum. But and I mean like at some point Wax might hit its limits, but it's just way later, and it's just. And then I mean Ethereum. Then these guys are thinking about layer 2 solutions. We could too. It's just that we don't really need to at the moment. We can have way more transactions than they do at the moment, and we're still fine.
Yeah, by the time we need layer 2, we'll already have it built, and we'll just be like, yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
yeah, something like that.
Right? All right.
No, I mean, like what I can see is like big games like Alien Worlds, for example. If they sort of have their own layer 2, I think that makes sense because like these games that are really transaction intensive, maybe they then don't scale on the mainnet, but that's totally. Like that's a good application of layer 2s. I feel like that can totally happen.
Did with Ronin, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's what they did. Because they forked over to the Ronin chain, and I think like they still do some settlements in different places, but technically they're kind of on their own thing now. And I mean that makes sense for really big applications. Like no blockchain can scale infinitely high. That doesn't work, but.
Well, and I think There'll come a time too when like wax is already pretty fast, but like these high intensive transactions. So is that something that you guys are thinking about? Like is there a way that people could plug in, batch transactions as a layer 2 already? It seems pretty.
Well, I mean, scaling NFTs across different chains, that's more difficult in a sense. And then you need like proper inter-blockchain communication stuff, which also is possible. Like, it of course does complicate the system a bit, whereas right now, if you have all on one chain, that's sort of easier to work with. Like, it's not like we just flip a switch and then we have layer 2 and it's all perfect, right? But I think we could figure it out if we had to. Right now, we're not thinking about it a lot. It's just like because in the back of our head, we know that we could do it if it really came to that. And we also know that we're still quite far away from actually needing that.
I just want to apologize for keep dropping out. My internet connection is like, it's actually the opposite of NFTs on Ethereum. It's fine until it's not.
I see what you did there. Oh man. Oh, so what's the NFT creator? It seems like it's the next thing that's coming out. Any timelines we should look for, or just kind of wait longer?
Probably just wait longer. I mean, it's not just the NFT creator; it's also the notification system, which we really want to do. And it's like this big thing. And I mean, I actually saw that someone in our Telegram also wrote like, "Hey, it's been this many months. Like, why can't you just fix it?" And the reason is, it's not just a fix. It's not that something broke and we just didn't fix the bug yet. It's that we completely changed the structure of how it's going to work, because it's just like, if we had the same system that we had a year ago, it would just be abused by tons of bots that just spam you with notifications and so on. So there's this whole new level that we need to think about, like, how do we find out if a notification is actually relevant to a user? Then we can't just do it like last year we did it for maybe 10,000 people. Now we need to do it for hundreds of thousands of people. That's a pretty big difference as well.
Right.
And then also, like, we want to be able to have like multiple channels where you might get notification on your Telegram, but also on your email, and then you choose where you want to receive which notification. And so it's this whole new system, but actually it's also being built, and it's also one of the things that has been like close to completion for the last few months, but never actually finished. So that should hopefully happen soon, though. And then we also have buy offers, which are essentially just like, if something is for sale, then for 1,000 wax, then maybe you just want to offer 700 wax, and then the seller can accept it.
I have a couple of things. So first off, when you do get the NFT creator created, like, can we like do it when you release it? Can we have an episode on the show? Because I just really want to push out a show called NFTs for Dummies, and I think that was the perfect opportunity to do that. Second, I would love for you to make an NFT so that we could use it too. And everyone's like, "Hey, why don't you just fix it?" And then like they get an NFT that says, "If you fix it, maybe we'll hire you." And the third thing is, I have a question. How difficult would this be? Here's my one and only request to you, Jona, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is what I'd like to do, because I like collecting shit that's undervalued, from various projects that I'm interested in. And yesterday, I must have spent like a good 30 to 40 minutes. Bundles are okay, but like I must have spent a good 30, 40 minutes straight just like buying the lowest, thing that I wanted. Across the board, just going in, buying. Is it, like, how far off are we from like a way that I could just like go onto like a project site and buy up everything under one wax? Like, is this even possible? Like, it was just something that was spinning in the back of my mind. It's like, I want some more, Uplift miners or some more Yoshi miners. Could I just go into the site and click like, I want to buy everything under 5 wax and just like have like a batch buy order? Is this even possible? Is this something that like could even exist?
Okay. 3 things. First of all, yes, when we do release it, at some point in the very distant future, maybe sooner, we can definitely do another episode. That would be fun for sure. A second thing, yeah, if someone's out there that's listening, that's thinking like, these idiots, why don't they fix it? Like, please apply. We will hire you.
Right? If you think you can do better, shut up and come and do better.
I mean, it's not even just like, hey, like you don't know what you're talking about. If you do know what you're talking about, we will hire you. Like we will definitely do that.
That's awesome.
And then third thing about like bulk buying, sort of. I feel like that's probably going to happen at some point. Although the concern that we have there is if we put it on some main interface, the advanced users like you, they will be happy, but everyone else will just be very lost and confused. Fair enough, that's why we're thinking like we want to do it. We will most likely only start working on that once we have the UX UI designer on board, because we feel like if we as like developers at heart start doing this, it's going to get very messy and might confuse people and might cause more harm than it does good. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
we want to improve this buying experience. Like we're certainly aware that there's room for improvement, but it's pretty difficult from a UX perspective, and that's why we want to wait until we have a sort of professional on board with us there who can really like think this through instead of just us pushing it out somehow.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough. 100%. Yeah, Morton's got a point. He said, snipers will buy before you're done filling your cart. I wasn't actually thinking about a cart idea. I was just like, buy everything that people are selling for stupid low amounts of money because they're idiots. That's no, it's great. I like it. I like how like forward thinking you guys are and all the awesome stuff that you're doing. I want to have Corey. We need to figure out a way to have like a snowball cart killing competition where we reward people for like somehow, because this looks like a lot of fun.
It's like where you get rewarded for riding around in a cart endlessly. It's called the reward system.
No, throwing snowballs and like destroying carts that.
But you have to, right? Like, and yeah. TC, thank you for letting me know about that. I hadn't thought of that. Like, if you don't do it, it stops you. So you kind of don't have a choice.
Right.
The incentives are already aligned, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's target practice. It's good.
Right.
I like it.
And really, it's just like point forward and shoot. It's not super duper rocket science. But yeah, it's fun. Trying to see how far it is to the next one. Some hinterland out here. So hey, Jona, what's your favorite NFT in your collection?
Well, I mean, actually, on my account, I have one NFT showcase that I just, for some odd reason, I just really love this from. Let's see, yeah, from the Digital Ducks collection. Like the first, just this duck that is waggling around and has this knife in his hand. That's sort of the thing.
That's awesome. I totally expected you to go like parent with 1,000 kids. Like, no, they're all equally fine. You're like, no, fuck that shit. Like, I absolutely have an.
That's actually like until I got this duck, it was very much like this. I was like, yeah, no, I don't have a favorite. Like, I'm just collecting them all. But now that I have this duck, this is the one. for some reason, I just find it oddly nice.
That's awesome. Hold on, let me show this. That's really fun.
I was actually I was working on the whitelisting request and was checking it out, and then I was thinking, okay, I just need to get it. Like I usually don't buy stuff, but this one I had to get.
Watch, these are gonna moon now. So there you go. Trendsetter that you are. The deadly stabby quack. I mean, I kind of want one now. Damn it!
Right? Yeah. Awesome. My daughter loves ducks, and she's starting to get an attitude. So I'm gonna show her that and see what she says.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Brilliant. Somehow that just does something for me. I just saw it and I knew, okay, this is the one. I need to get it. I need to showcase it on my profile, and now we're here.
Yeah, that's super fun. Oh, we got some more comments.
It's crazy how trends happen, though. Like it's really interesting. Like it's funny. Like we saw the price of wax like spike the other day, and somebody was in the comments, and then just like, what happened? Like the wax value for like these NFTs just went through the floor. Like it sucks, and it's like, yeah, on the same day that wax like 2x. It's really interesting when you look at it. I think it's like super fun. So I don't know.
That's actually a pretty interesting technical challenge, though, too. Like, because a lot of people are valuing their NFTs in US dollars rather than wax. So, like, that sort of makes more sense in a statistics perspective. Like, we should probably display US dollar prices. Otherwise, these wax spikes look really odd.
But it also,
at the same time, the sales are in wax. So it's like,
right. It slows it down. Like one of the things I noticed when the price of wax goes up significantly, it actually takes a while for some NFTs to like collections to adapt, and some of them don't. Like some of them just ride that rise up and are suddenly worth twice as much, right? Which is really, really interesting. And if they were priced all in USD, that probably wouldn't happen as much, right? I think people would make more, buy decisions based on sort of the combination of wax and the NFT. So yeah, I'd rather just leave it at wax, just so people like ride it and don't even know what they're doing. And it, like a lot of collections benefit from it, I think.
It's like shopping when I'm hungry. Like it really is. It's like, oh, one wax. It's like one wax is now worth like $100, and I'm still like, oh, it's just one wax. Like,
that's true. That's actually when I see like wax amount somewhere and maybe just someone transfers wax, and I think like that's not a lot. That's not enough. And then I just realize, okay, it actually is.
Right. I mean, to be fair, when I really want something, I just ignore the US dollars value, like behind where it says on Atomic Assets, and I'm just like, oh, that's only 200 wax, no problem. I'm just gonna buy it. That's good.
Yeah, that's also nice for us to see. I feel like wax is still not getting a lot of attention. But like Binance listings certainly help with liquidity. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of both things. Like, right, if something gets listed on Binance, then people just buy it because it gets listed on Binance. So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy. But at the same time, there is real value if people can now get it on like the biggest exchange. So
right. I think we haven't really seen the speculator hype that wax richly deserves. Right. I mean, I was thinking like Telos, somebody who's been buying up Telos from the Ethereum Foundation or whatever. Fine. They've got an EVM. Fine. But the amount of economic activity that's going on Telos would fit in my fucking shot glass. There is nothing going on there that I'm aware of. And if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me that I'm wrong. Right. I don't have a huge amount of visibility. I own some Telos. Love them. They're great. But they're not worth 80 cents. Right. Or, I mean, with speculation, sure they are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are buying that.
Yeah.
It's exactly in line, right? And I'm, yay for them and yeehaw for my little Telos bag. But, like, it constantly astounds me that nobody has figured out that wax is fucking crushing the network effect. The amount of brands, the amount of companies, and the amount of projects that are doing real economic activity on wax is absurd compared to basically everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Like, is Matic even close? I know there's other projects and other chains that are doing okay, but like, is anything really doing what is going on, what we're seeing on wax?
Yeah, I think some like Ethereum obviously, but it's like Ethereum,
it's
but
the elephant in the room.
Yeah, but like if you look at wax compared to so many other coins, it's surprisingly low, and I mean it's already risen since the beginning of the year by like 10x. Like before that it was even more crazy, but still. And I mean I think just token values in general, cryptocurrency values in general, they're not really a science sort of thing. Like a lot of them don't really make sense if you look at them, I feel like. But you sort of just compare them to one another, and in comparison to one another, that's something that you definitely can compare. wax is just way undervalued in my opinion. And this is not financial advice. Like I'm not trying to give, but it's just
it's life advice. That's my new favorite thing. It's like, no, it's not. It's just life advice. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I still think it's dramatically. I just came across. This is my plot. I didn't remember that. So anyway, that's fun. Yeah. So yeah, I think like for me, especially when we get a proper amount of DeFi locking up circulating supply on wax, we could see $2 to $5. Like that's my personal target. And again, is this financial advice? No, do your own fucking research. Everybody knows that. But I mean, who knows? And really, could be wrong. But anyone's assessment on that is just trying to read tea leaves. But I mean, we've got some evidence, right? Like to me, I mean, I keep like even without the speculative interest, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, Jona. There is a throughput, and I've talked to like some of the larger projects, people running them, where the throughput is big company launches a big thing on wax, everybody gets some USD or uses some of the wax they already have. They spend a bunch of wax on that, and those big companies, as often as not, turn that wax back into dollars, right? So it's basically just circular, right? And doesn't actually kind of eat up any of the supply, just because the supply and demand ends up at the end of that getting balanced. Now, here's where I see an imbalance that increases every single day. All of the secondary market activity is going on in wax, right? And so if anyone wants to pick anything up on secondary, those NFTs, like the market cap of the NFTs themselves, is sort of a de facto leading indicator of the amount of wax that would be required in any of those transactions, right? And over time, that's locking up and requiring people to get more and more wax as the number of people that are holding wax accounts increases.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
No. I think that's very much logical. And next to that, I mean, there's also just the wax you need to lock up for like CPU and net. And even though users don't have to do that, like we have, let me quickly check how much we have right now.
18 trillion.
We have 2 million wax just locked up in our account that pays for our users CPU and net. And so the user doesn't have to do that, but even just because we have users and we want to pay for them, we have to lock up a bunch of wax. Then for RAM, you obviously pay a lot of wax, and then the RAM prices have been increasing a lot recently. So there is a real demand for wax in that sense.
Right. So does RAM go to the guilds, like the block producers?
No, it's just gone.
They just burn it?
I mean, you can sell RAM again, and then you get it back, but then they take like 2% fee.
It's like a locked up resource, basically, in the NFT, sort of.
Yeah, but except for like the 2% or something fee, that just actually gets burned or gets sent to some account where it's basically locked up. The rest is it's sort of locked up. But at the same time, like if all the NFTs that have been minted on Atomic, unless they're burned again, which doesn't happen, like the RAM isn't coming back. Nobody, as long as these NFT exist,
right? So
the RAM isn't coming back, so nobody can sell it. So it's like as if this wax is gone.
Right. That's cool.
So, and I mean, that's not a huge amount of wax that's going there, but it's not nothing. So that's like a constant demand for it.
I like it a lot. Yeah, anyway, so maybe the price goes up, maybe it doesn't. It's going up.
I mean, one of those two is true, most likely.
Yes, definitely one of those two things is certainly going to happen. And I've been telling anybody that would listen, like, I make fun predictions based on charts about where it's going to be next week. They're like, my hit rate on those is maybe 50%, right? Like, I don't know where it's going to go next week, and neither do you, right? But like where it's going to be in 6 months, you can make some educated guesses, I think, that are far better than a coin flip as far as the percentage likelihood of being accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this: if you want to do well in crypto, get a little bit of wax and get into NFTs and you'll kick ass. Not because the price moves in wax, but because you get so interested in it, you forget about the rest of the crypto. You become a long-term hodler, and by default definition, those prices will go up during the second, the third, the fourth cycle. I mean, like, since I got into wax, I saved so much money that I would have lost on trading other cryptos.
Me too. Yep, I was already getting into like the hodl mentality instead of trading. I've told this story a bunch, but like I had a friend of mine. I got into crypto in 2016, 2017, and so did a buddy of mine. He put in like, basically exactly the same amount of money that I did right at the same time, and I had just come in from trading forex, so I traded every day for like 18 months, right? And made a good amount of money. Turned like $200-300 into 30,000. I was like really excited, like woohoo! He made like a tiny little bit less than me and didn't do a thing. Right, and like the amount of heartache and headache and fail and yada yada yada, right? It literally like just pick some stuff and shut the fuck up, just sit down, right? Do nothing, and you'll have a tendency to do more. And there's so many people that have no trading background whatsoever that get wrecked all the time. Like in a bull market, they're losing money hand over fist and then blame the rest of the universe for it because reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you try it out with low amount of money, then it maybe is like just the learning experience. But it's actually true, like same thing with stocks, but pretty much translates to cryptocurrency. Like, why do you think that you sitting in your garage having no trading experience will do better than hedge funds which have 100 employees who are all like have PhDs from Ivy League schools and they're just all together thinking about this? Why do you think you will beat them? Like, you probably won't.
Gonna take your money.
I have a friend who's a
and
police
again,
officer.
Like maybe not over 5 minutes short term, but over the long term, like the house is going to win and they're the house.
I have a friend who's a police officer. Maybe I can get his permission to just walk into like a Walmart or a department store and start screaming at the top of my lungs, I bought a CD from you and the price is going down. Fix my price, god damn it. And just like go off and see, like just film people's reactions and turn it into an NFT. It would be great. Columbia Records, Walmart, you guys suck. My CD is not holding its value.
Oh my god. That's pretty funny. Not gonna lie. That's pretty funny. Anyways.
If you buy NFTs, you might actually have fun outside of just you might get value that is non-monetary. Like you might just enjoy it.
Right. Exactly.
That's sort of.
Did you see that duck? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, true. Like
while those things are now going to moon for sure, mostly I just want one because there's a duck with a knife.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not making money off of that, but the value it brings to my life just by knowing it exists and it's mine.
I love that. That's freaking funny.
Yeah, that's. There's value to that.
I'm really enjoying this. You need to come back, regardless of whether you're releasing new shit or not.
Hopefully we will.
Yeah. I just think like the insight is good. Like I mean we could even bring you back like every single Monday for like Jona's NFT pick of the week. Just like, do something fun like that. It'll be good. But yeah, and shout out to all the people in the comments. Thanks everyone who's out there and always interacting with us. So if you guys have any questions for Jona, please shoot them in there.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's actually like I know that I feel like it sometimes feels like, and it's probably also true, that we're just a bit distant from our community. And it like that hasn't been this way when we started. When we started, we were like always there in every single chat, responding to everything instantly. Yeah. And now we just don't anymore. And it's not because we hate the community.
Yeah.
And it's not because we think we're somehow more important now or we're too important to respond. It's just that there's a lot more input that we need to deal with, sort of. And that's actually where I think like interviews or like shows like these really help. I hope at least where people can sort of see that we're just human, that we're just trying our best, that we're doing the best we can. And actually, like on that like content creation community side, we will have some exciting news pretty soon as well. So like we're going to improve there.
That's awesome.
I mean, we've been like we're one tiny part of the Wax ecosystem, and we've been going through the same thing. Right? It's just like it gets to the point where you're making the choice between answering every single thing, and we've hired people to run the community that are doing that. That we still have that constant communication as much as we're able to do it. But like if we didn't create some kind of distance separation, we would get literally nothing done.
Yeah,
and so you have to figure out how to balance that, and it's a non-trivial problem.
No, it certainly isn't.
The worst part about working with people that you love is you have to create like distance separation among your own team, or you don't get anything done, and it's like a love-hate relationship. It's like there's a couple questions, and I think like they raise a good point. I am's asking, when can we delete schemas? There's a lot of all of us rookies. He says make test schemas, and they just sit there. Is this even possible? Right? Like we talk about blockchain,
well, it's on chain, right?
Immutability. Like I know, like is this something that is even possible, or that you guys are looking into, or is there a way like to maybe do it in the future?
Yeah, so I mean, in general, and I think a lot of people misunderstand this, like just because it's on the blockchain doesn't mean it can't be erased in the table. Like the history of it being there at some point, that can't be erased, but the thing being there can be erased. Like obviously we're burning NFTs, that's pretty much that. For schema specifically, that's just, it's impossible technically because the schemas, from a technical perspective, the schema doesn't know if it has any NFTs within it. Like our API knows, but the schema in the blockchain doesn't know. And there's no way for it to know. So if we were to allow you to delete the schema, then you might delete a schema that actually has NFTs inside it. And then those NFTs can't be read anymore, essentially. And that just breaks stuff. So that's just not possible technically.
How about a little check mark box that you could click that would like hide it from view?
Yeah. Like that's a different thing, and that's something we are thinking about. Yeah, like I mean, we've already done it where we're not showing templates that don't have any assets within them. We don't show them by default anymore, which was largely in response to like people creating like error templates. So like, even if you mint 5 NFTs, if you then burn them again, so that's not a single active one, we don't show it by default. So that was in response to a lot of people asking, like, how can we delete templates? So we know that this is annoying, and like especially for me, like every single time I set up a schema for some collection that I'm working on, like I'm horrified because I know if I'm going to make a mistake there, it's just there. It's not going away anymore. So I fully understand this frustration. It's just like there are technical limits.
And not everyone's like us and embraces their mistakes and just names worlds after all of them.
I mean, I think that's actually the best way to deal with these mistakes, though, because every single large collection has them. Like they might hide them, but like they are there. Like it's just inevitable. And as long as they're not completely catastrophic, you can just embrace them, and sometimes they will even sometimes the error template will even be worth more perhaps because it's special. Like there
was a situation on Ethereum where people actually started creating like error templates on purpose, like to capitalize upon it, right? And it's just like, it's crazy to me. It's like, what becomes common? The commonalities are what drives the price, not the intentions necessarily, right? I think people really need to learn that. It's like, I mean.
But actually, because you wrote like all of us rookies make test schemas and they just sit there, you are doing that only because the NFT creator is so bad. If the NFT creator was better and explained everything to you and like let you double check stuff, you would also make significantly less mistakes. So that's sort of the best way to tackle this, is to not even let you make the mistake in the first place by just improving the NFT creator.
Make them check a box that says like, do you understand, or like, do you take this schema under your belt, never to be deleted again?
Yeah, no, but I mean, you can just display them, like how will it look like, and I think if we do that, and then you will be able to notice these errors a lot more, and then you won't make them as much.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's tough. There's a lot of attributes that go into it, and like, yeah, like a lot of projects, you know, they hire dedicated people to do this for them because it's not necessarily an easy thing to do. And what's crazy about it is you guys actually made it 10 times easier than anyone who came before you, in my opinion, right? Like, so yeah, we're always. I mean, I'm a fan. The minute that, like, you know, I'm a fan. And I'll always be a fan. I mean, you guys are pushing boundaries and you're doing excellent things. And you've got something on the roadmap that's difficult for you to build, and you're still trying to build it. Like, that means the world to me as a connoisseur of all things good, right?
Thank you. Yeah, and I actually like. I agree. Like, and I mentioned this before. I don't look at other projects a whole lot, not because I don't care, but just because I usually don't have the time. But I feel like you're right. Like, even our current NFT creator is pretty good compared to others, and we know how much better it can become. And I feel like once we're there, we're also hiring for marketing. If someone's here, like, please also apply.
Hey, Rob
like,
Blaska.
Once we have
he's
that,
already in there. He knows what's up.
Once we have like this NFT creator rework, I think we're just going to start blasting all the creators and telling them like, stop doing this really complicated and expensive stuff on Ethereum. Mm-hmm. Just do it here. It's just so much better. And I think
donate to that advertising fund.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna help.
I would love to see a video walkthrough, like some, like when you guys
yeah.
get this, you know.
Yeah, and also like high. I think we will have the means to do something high quality there, like not just some video where like I sit down and then for 50 minutes I talk and then it's done. And I think we can actually produce like really high quality tutorial that is like with a proper script, well thought through, and then just shows the things. I think we can do that, or we will be able to do that, and I think it will be pretty obvious to anyone that has done the other stuff before that ours is just superior then. At least I hope so.
I mean, I'm kind of never mind. I'm gonna be quiet. The Awamori is really strong. It gets me in trouble, but I kind of wanted to make a parallel between time and funds and how, you know, Blockcoin could have done that, but they didn't. So go AtomicHub.
We did. We went over an hour without bitching about Blockcoin, so I think we deserve a candy. That's pretty good.
Actually, Corey, there's a question here for you, and it's a good question. I'm assuming the answer is okay, but if I ride
it's
my
not
horse,
at all.
like...
No. Listen, in our document, what does it say? It says we track walking, we track running, we track minecart travel. Is riding a horse in this list? Nope.
The horse is running.
The horse is running. The horse is earning imaginary rewards then. Except no, don't. That's a lie. No. Walking, running, driving around in a minecart. That's it. Because there's like 50,000 ways to travel, and half of them are like, you know, you drug a fucking dolphin and you can go 9 million miles an hour. We had to cut all that stuff out. So we figured for this season, which is going to last 6 weeks, those 3 things are going to get tracked, and that's it. If it's not on that list, it's not getting tracked. So let me go over it again. Walking, running, minecart riding. And anything outside that list, we're not tracking.
So the player has to be the player has to be walking, not on anything.
That's correct. Yeah. Random dogs or horses or anything walking, not so much.
All right, that works. I mean, I guess I'm
now clear.
Gonna have to get rid of all those carrots on sticks because they're not going to be useful for season 1.
What about turtle riding? Well, obviously turtles are included. That was again, that's not true. That was a joke. Turtles are not included. Not being on that very small, really specific list. Okay. Anyway, it's never dull. Yeah, it's gonna be weird, man. We haven't actually just ever turned wax rewards on before, Jona. And so now they're on, and we're doing the first distribution sometime today, which is fun. And we forgot to freaking unstake the wax from the rewards pool, so that was fucking super genius. Luckily, we had it somewhere else. We can swap. We can move some shit around and still get it done today. But that was like, we've been so concerned with just getting the plugin working and getting all of our, you know, all the details right. We were just like, oh yeah, that wax is staked. Shit.
We've got a lot of wax.
We're
gonna give away a lot of wax.
Yeah, I mean we're 40,000 wax this week. So
That's
pretty good.
all right, if you like that sort of thing.
Like, I mean, imagine how many
Watch, like
NFTs
Wax
I
is gonna
could
hit
buy
$10
with
bucks
40.
someday, and we're gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, maybe I should just open Minecraft on the second window and just walk a bit.
Dude, I'm doing it right now.
Are you really sure that you want to, like, are you sure you want to give this away before you go underground in Tahiti?
Dude, there was a rumor going around that the entire uplift was a money grab that I personally had orchestrated by myself to not only take all the money from all of the players, but from all of my team as well to move to Tahiti, which I thought was like really specific because I've never been to Tahiti.
My dream is to live in Tahiti, and ironically, I'm the one that sits on a different balcony in the dark every night for the last month and a half of our show.
Oh man, it's never dull. It's never freaking dull.
I like it.
Anyway, that's fun. All right, what else we got to cover before we let you go, Jonah?
I'm not sure. I think that's pretty good.
All right, me too. As long as you come back, like not in 2 months, but like maybe in 1.
Maybe you even have the NFT creator. Maybe not.
Fair enough.
No,
All right, you got 4 weeks. There's deadlines now, dude. We're just gonna start setting our
Okay.
Like,
Mike,
get her done, Pumpkin. Get her done.
Yeah,
I
and
prepare for
seriously,
that.
like you were one of our staples for Tech Talk on a Tuesday, but I really like having you here for Monday morning and chill. I mean, we can chill all month long on a Monday, and you're always welcome. So yeah, schedule yourself in like any single time. You have the link. You're one of the few special people that has that Monday morning and chill link. It doesn't go out to the general public very easily. That's a frozen, orchestrated, freezer of ice cream goodness. If you like ice cream.
Nice. Yeah, of course.
Yep. All true.
Thanks. Tune in for the rest of the week. We got some really cool up and coming shows this week. We've got Tech Talk on Tuesday, who have been praising you guys like crazy for your atomic standard, by the way. But the NFT token launches tomorrow, so we've got them on the show on Wednesday. We don't have a Media Moguls like set in stone yet. It might just be me and Corey, but probably not. We've got some ideas. We've got 2 Journey shows this week. One with Mitzi, who was in the comments earlier. We're really excited about that. And one with who else? Dr. Unani of Discordia. So I'm pretty excited about that. We've got some dude who's coming on the channel on Friday for NFT Game Day, which we're really excited about that. Gorno, no, there's no video discussing active rewards. It's the one pager, and that's it. But we do have maybe some ideas about like how to put this information out, but we're not quite there yet. Probably, I'm honestly, I'll tell you 100%, like as the person who writes the blogs, I'm partial to these one pagers because I think people read them a lot more than the information that sometimes we stuff on the blogs. So we're trying to work away with that. I don't know. Maybe we should even make these one pagers NFTs so that people know that they're coming from the verified account. I'm just saying, like, this is actually really fucking smart.
We have a website. I mean, if somebody goes to the effort of cloning our entire website, that'll be interesting.
No, but if it actually like is an NFT that comes from our account, then people would know that that's like the information that is carved in stone. I like this idea. Let's play with that. I'm just saying, like just a one-of-one NFT that we hold in our account so that you know that it's verifiable so that no fuckers are trying to scam you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's never going to happen because every time I talk about creating NFTs on this show, it never happens. But I'm just saying, like
some of your ideas are good. That wasn't one of them.
I love it.
All right, guys.
We'll catch you guys tomorrow. And thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, Jonah, good to see you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Cheers. Choppy chop.